surgically placed.
Oh my god, Nero, are you speaking again? I see your light up. I don't hear
Yeah.
anything.
We have a light, but no word.
Oh, I thought the person in the background of you, Fluff, whoever's talking in the distance, was Nero, and we were just hearing like very quiet, baby Nero.
Okay. Well,
I'm curious to know what he was saying this entire time.
Well, we'll find out in a minute that he
I
had actually
imagine him
said
saying-
nothing.
He said stuff and he was like, why aren't they like responding to what I'm saying?
Probably like Rutherford, shut up. Shut up, Rutherford, you're making this worse.
okay, so while we're waiting for Nero, Fluff, on your way back, you notice that the snow has gotten worse.
No bueno. No bueno at all.
The storm has looked like it's picked up. Also, Nero, we're still not hearing you. If you're
Saying that the snow is worse, do I know like the food shortage that we have, like how much there is?
what you have now is barely enough to get the village through the winter.
Oh my god.
And that's of course before Tithe. Yeah, the harvest has been wiped out almost. This almost dooms whatever little was left.
Oh no. Okay. This is bad. I'm trying to think. Oh no. I think from there, I'm probably gonna head towards. Yeah, I think I am heading towards the inn. I think.
Along the way, I would like you to make an awareness test.
Okay. Oh god, someone's probably stalking me or something. Is it standard?
Yeah, just make it standard.
Alright. Nope. Whatever it is, I didn't see it.
Yeah. As you approach the village, obviously it's getting harder and harder. You see some of the militia that you've conscripted are like watching a makeshift barricades that they've erected on the edges of town. They see you coming, and you can definitely see or sense that there seems to be this like there's a lot of fear in the town right now, and it's approaching. It's now dark. Um, the conscripts on duty were not supposed to be watching tonight, but they are.
Okay, that's worrisome. So I'm going to approach like the soldiers and kind of see if they can give me like an update as to like why they're being a little bit more alert than usual.
Says Sergeant Grenstock. Well, he said that the air was feeling funny tonight, and that we were gonna we were lucky we was gonna get a double watch shift.
She says snow is heavy tonight. Make sure to keep warm.
Yeah, I'll try.
So she thanks the soldier, and uh the blacksmith, it's still empty. Like Delilah never came back.
Yeah, she never came back.
I'm gonna check around. Is it empty? Like there's nobody there, or is there someone there? When I take a look, if I take a look,
Yeah, there's nobody there. It's empty.
no one there.
At the blacksmith, you mean? Yeah, there
Yeah.
hasn't been anybody there since the attack on the village. Nobody is a trained blacksmith. Maybe a couple people know how to bang out a nail, but maybe that's probably about.
Crap. Would have been useful if he had a blacksmith. God damn. Do I see anything like useful tools or like wood or there? Just laid out.
I mean, her blacksmith's tools are still there, and like maybe a couple pieces of farm equipment she was working on, but not too.
I'm considering breaking in her place.
It wouldn't be hard.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try.
To just break down her door and go in her hut.
Yes.
Okay, you stupid rat bastard, Mike. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes. Victory.
All right, sorry about that. I'm back.
Yeah, you open the door, and the first thing that hits you is there's a smell of rotting meat in her, in her area, and there's empty bottles of Basque mead all over the place.
I'm gonna look around her place to see if I find anything as to maybe where she went or why she left or just anything.
I mean, give me an awareness.
Okay. Is it gonna be standard or challenging? Okay. Nope. No, I don't find anything. God damn it.
Yeah, nothing but the bottles of mead, the empty bottles of mead, and you do find easily you find, and you will suffer a little bit of peril for this as well. Like just chucked behind her bed, there was the leg of a deer that looks like it was just ripped off and then gnawed on.
What? That is weird. Like, is it not cooked or is it's like a raw?
Yeah, it's not cooked. It was raw. It's rotting now. It's pretty gross.
Okay. I gained a peril.
You suffer 4 mental peril,
Okay.
so that has to exceed the threshold for you to go down.
Yeah, I'm still fine. Didn't hit my threshold yet. Yeah. Seeing that, I'm just going to like leave the place, close the door, and make my way to the inn.
Okay. You will enter in a little bit.
Mhm.
You, at the end now that Nero has regained, Rasmussen regained the ability to speak.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys had Rutherford had begun talking to you. I don't remember exactly what he said.
Well, you can just assume I said something profound and intelligent and was immediately dismissed.
Joe, are you there?
Yeah. One second.
Okay. Yeah, when you're ready, I know you had something you
Right.
wanted to bring up.
Yeah, I was just texting or messaging Cody. Yeah. So we're leaving the room now and going into the, regular area of the inn. And with you're coming, right, Rasmussen?
Yes, of course. I wanted to make sure that we could meet up with Genevieve and see how her meeting with Matilda went, and see if there was any new information or anything pertinent that you may have learned, and if not, then discuss possible avenues of inquiry, sort of collectively.
Good idea. So
'Cause
she's going to.
there's clearly a past between Matilda and Brienne, and until we understand the nature of that past, we're sort of operating blind here. And I have a feeling that that relationship is going to be key for us to understand if we're going to navigate whatever consequences bringing her back to town is going to entail. Clearly, she is not, like, Matilda is not a fan of Brienne. We don't know whether the feeling is mutual or not, and that's going to be important to understand.
Yes.
Has
I
Genevieve
don't think we.
returned from Matilda's yet, or is she still in her?
It would be a while, so if you guys would just like hang out basically for a little while, she will return maybe a couple hours after
Well,
meeting.
then,
It's now firmly
if
dark.
that's the case, is Ramon still there?
I am with you, my friend.
Tell me, Ramon, what do you know of the troubles that beset this town? How informed are you about the challenges it faces?
I know that they are dire and many and always on your doorstep, but that is the nature of challenges.
Currently, we face the following challenges. The tithe is coming due, and the town doesn't seem to have the resources necessary to give the graph his due. We're beset by beastmen on the edges of the town, led by what the hell's his name? Brutus,
Brutus, yes.
who was the foreman of the mine. And still at large is Jeb, a man witch. that,
Every
Perfect.
time everybody says manwich, I just think of a man and a sandwich. And it's
That's
just
it.
wrong. Just wrong.
Perfect.
Who has demonstrated that he's in league with powers beyond our ken. We need to deal with these each in turn if this town has any hope of prosperity again. If you have any information about any of the above, now would be the time to share.
Of course, but I have one question first.
Yes?
Who's Ken? Where can I
Never,
find this Ken?
never mind. It's a figure of speech.
Really, what kind of figure? I really prefer the really round ones.
An incorporeal beggar.
It simply means he's in league with powers that we don't know, that we don't understand.
And why do you not
Likely
understand
powers
them?
from beyond.
Are you a man witch?
Only when I'm hungry.
He's demonstrated knowledge of sorcery. That's a challenge we haven't faced before.
I mean, this does not mean anything. There are many out there who are capable of such feats. Men of God, men of not of God.
That may be true enough, but I, for one, have never had one as an enemy before.
So you've had one as a friend.
Not to my knowledge.
So you've never known one before, is that what you're saying?
Correct. This man, I killed him, and he didn't stay dead. That
Then-
has to change.
Then you didn't kill him. Clearly.
Oh, I killed him. It just didn't stick.
Then he's not dead, is what you're saying. So you did not kill him. Death has a certain finality about it, I think you'll understand. If you killed him, he'd be dead. You're saying he's not dead, you did not kill him.
I won't say any more on the matter. I'll let you experience it yourself.
Very well, I do not see why I should, but okay.
He will show up again. I guarantee you this.
Of course, you did not kill him. He still has to be somewhere.
Do you have any information on any of the matters I've discussed?
Only the things that you have said that I know.
So none of these things have to do with the truths you've come to speak.
I feel like you weren't listening before, my friend.
I have been listening. You just haven't said anything of worth yet. I'm waiting for any insight, information, or wisdom you can share.
Indeed. And this is what I have done. I have told you the things that you need to know to understand the things that you do not. All you have said to me is reciprocals. You are repeating yourself, whilst not understanding the words that you have spoken. It's very important that you think on the things that you have said that are important, and to disregard the things that you have said that are not.
Okay, Rasmussen is going to try to smell to see if he's got alcohol in his breath, because he's starting to suspect he might be drunk.
Well, if you'd like to take a scrutinize, you may certainly.
Or if you like to pick him up and put your nose in his mouth.
No, just a subtle sniff.
Well, I don't know how subtle you can be because I'm real low to the ground. You gotta get right down there.
I thought you were on the table.
We have not been in that position for a while. You may not have heard because you could not talk.
Yeah, I was fighting with my mics.
Yeah, you had no mouth, but you must scream.
No.
Yeah, not that you can determine to be on all. You can't get a good read on Ramon. He is a practiced fool. So
He has less to say than me.
But many more words to say it in. Plus I can read.
Shut up. God damn it.
I'm joking, I'm joking. I cannot read.
yeah, so time passes and Genevieve returns to the inn, and sees you all hanging out.
Do I see our little gnome friend? How tall are you?
I am 4'3".
So you are 7 inches. No,
I am 7 inches. They call me
no,
Tom
you're
Thumb
no,
where I come from.
you're 8 inches shorter than me in real life. You're like right here. Okay. So Genevieve looks at the interesting newcomer, and then looks at you, both of you two, and then she says, I didn't really have any luck at Matilda's.
As far as I can tell, we didn't really decipher anything new from Brienne either, but they clearly have a past.
I will mention something interesting that Matilda did manage to say to me. She said, I told her that because she didn't want Lady Brianna anywhere near her house, I'd respect her wishes. But Matilda said that her little warding symbols would protect her from Lady Brianna herself, which was very strange.
Well, that's certainly useful information, but the question has to be posed: warding from her for what purpose? Why does Matilda consider Brienne dangerous?
All I can gather from her is that she simply did not want to relive the past. The past was the past, and that was it. I couldn't get any more out of her, fortunately.
Well, I'm not convinced it's a good idea for us to press either of them at the moment. We should at the very least give them the night to settle in, and we'll figure out our next move in the morning. But or at least we'll pursue our next move in the morning. For now, I think we should try to figure out what our next move is going to be.
With Alexandre gone, it's hard for me to even think about what our next move would be. We'd have to tell the town.
Yes,
So,
the town has to know Alexandre is dead, and
but I
we would
feel
have.
like if we tell the town that, we'd have to do it very lightly because they might get into more of a panic. Because right now the snow's coming down a little harder and everybody's on edge.
That's a good point. I think if we decide to announce Alexandre's death, we should simultaneously announce that Lord Rutherford has been named Lord of the town and Lord of the manor, so that the town is aware that there is a new leader, that there is somebody that they answer to directly. And then we'll take it from there.
I suggest you not do it simultaneously. I suggest you do one before the other.
Any particular order that you would suggest?
I suggest that you declare that Lord Rutherford is now in charge. That way the people can be reassured that leadership is still among them. And then you declare that whoever this other person is dead. That way... Well, I don't know. It doesn't matter, this other thing.
So she kind of looks at Mr. Gnome person, and she says, I'm sorry, and then she says, may I have your name?
Oh yes, my dear, I am Ramon. I am here to serve. Lord Rutherford only.
On whose behalf?
Lord Rutherford's.
Someone's paying him, and we can't get him to say anything.
And yet here you were just moments ago telling me you could not get me to shut up. I only speak the truths. Truths for you to hear.
She looks at him over again and she says, may I ask what kind of skills you have?
You may.
What kind of skills do you have?
Many, many wide and varieties. Anything here to help the Lord, to serve his duties, to tell him the things that he needs to know, the truths that he must understand, to speak the words that he must speak that others may hear.
So are you some sort of wordsmith?
No, my name is Ramon.
So Mr. Ramon, are you a good talker?
No, but I speak well. And people can hear me. Hear me well they must, for I speak the truth that they may hear.
She kind of smiles, and then she turns to Ras and Rutherford. We should make him talk to Matilda and Lady Brianna.
That would serve
that's
him
not a
right.
bad idea.
All at the same time. She smiles and she says, "What's the harm? He's just a jester, and if anything, Lady Brianna will think he's some sort of form of entertainment."
That's not a bad idea, but given that we've pressed both of them tonight, I suspect that it might be better to wait until tomorrow. They may be more receptive.
I don't think either of them would be very happy if we sent them in Ramon right now.
Well, we'll see. She looks at Ramon and she says, "You don't know anything about witches, do you?"
Quite often, men who are witches are called warlocks. Although sometimes I hear this word man-witch being bantered around, which as my knowledge is a loose meat sandwich, so I do not know.
So she nods. Do you know of any of the local lore in this place?
Well, in an out-of-character perspective, there's one way to find out.
And, roll it.
This is a, what you call it, hick town, so no, I do not. I have served great many noble families over the years. From Boomstown to Scansburg to Northreaton. Wide-ranging noble families that... This is a hick town, no I do not.
So at this point, she's gonna whisper to Rutherford and be like, "Are you gonna tell him about?"
Am I gonna what?
Hey, she asked him if he's gonna tell Ramon about Carla.
What? Who's Carla? You're very bad at whispering, you know this, right? I'm like right here in your face, and you're like whispering in front of me. I was not like a foot away from Lord Rutherford when you said that.
Ramon, how many people can a man love at once?
Many. Love, the heart, it knows no boundaries, right? A man wants what a man wants. Who's to blame him for seeking out these things with many people at once? Who's to stop those people from doing the same, right? It is a wide-ranging world out there with many tastes and many people to satisfy with.
People who need people are the luckiest people in the world.
To love and to be loved, this is all we seek in life, whether we want it or not. It is what happens, and you are foolish, more foolish than me if you try to deny what you seek.
And Ramon, what do you do if the women you love are both stuck in the forest?
This seems to me to be a less rhetorical question than the last. Unless it is a rhetorical forest. And they are rhetorically stuck, in which case you gate them out. You risk a life and limb. For if they are truly the ones you love, you do not leave them behind, stuck in a rhetorical forest. Or a physical one, for that matter.
So, Genevieve looks at Ras and Rutherford. I'm already confused. And then, she says, I think we all need to sleep for the night, and then figure out how we're gonna address the situation to the town tomorrow.
I think that's a really good idea.
Oh, before I forget, she says, I managed to make my way into Delilah's smithery, and I think she's one of the beastmen, because she hasn't come back, and I just saw a running raw deer leg that looked like it was being gnawed, like eaten at. So yeah, that's concerning.
Yeah.
Wait, gnawed or eaten at?
It was like gnawed at and eaten at, and it was gross.
Well, if they're eating it, they're not gnawing at it. You have to gnaw something that they're eating. These are just facts, dear girl, just facts. If you're eating it, you're not gnawing at it. Gnawing is a chewing function.
I think we get the picture.
Do you? I just want to make it clear. If you're going to say something, you might as well say it right, otherwise it's not the truth.
Yeah.
So Genevieve kind of just leaves it at that, and she says, well, that's all the information I have for now. Things are not looking up.
Are we not going to have a discussion about all of these skulls that I'm seeing around here?
They're our friends.
Wow, you people have had hard times. How many have you lost so far? I'm thinking like 30 by my first count.
I don't know. How many died? Genevieve, how many,
So I know part of the Ziegenheis family has gone. I don't know how much. I know it's a good chunk of people.
That's a fair assessment.
Yeah, a chunk of people.
that's 10 reward points.
I mean, he's gesturing around to all the skulls with his walking stick, so.
Oh,
I mean, it was what I said was more of a joke, but
You're not the
it's
practice
also-
at this, Lord Rutherford. I should give you instructions on how not to joke.
you could give me instructions on how to not do a lot of things, and I would learn how to do things and how not to do things.
Ah, yes, okay, then I shall teach you how not to read.
Yes, teach me how not to read. That's a good idea.
Oh, I just, out of character, realized you didn't get to learn. Alexander didn't get to teach you how to read.
I know.
Nope.
I was about to say that.
I'm gonna pick my next class, and I'm not gonna be able to use an education because I'm dumb as dirt.
You won't be able to use what?
Education.
Oh. Well, I mean, you could spend double the amount of experience as a unique skill.
Can teach you how to read, because she knows how to read. Like, it's basic, but it's not. It'll give you a starting point, I think.
As great as we all want to teach Rutherford to read,
Personally, I do not. I think he's a more interesting character when he doesn't know how to read.
I think it's better if I don't know how to read.
Yeah, what's our plans and what are we tackling next?
I have a hut to go to tonight. after Lord Rutherford goes
Yeah.
to bed.
Yes, Alexandre's hut.
Well, that's not what I meant, but also Alexandria doesn't have a hut. What are you talking about?
He has a room. He has a room in the inn.
I
I was
swear to
actually over
God, you
there.
were talking about having a hut in the first session.
No, I never did. I literally talked about the racist innkeeper in the room I had at the inn. Every time. You've been
Oh,
to
it
that
must have
room
been
over and over
Tommy,
again.
right?
Oh, you
In
mean
the hut in the forest.
the Green Man?
The Green Man, yeah.
And,
Oh, yeah. So there's Selma, there's the Green Man, there's Jeb, there's Matilda and her twin.
There's the tithe too that we're gonna need to sort out.
Well, I don't.
I found the
That's
best
just
way out of
gonna
it.
have to. Hmm.
Oh, I died. Not my
Oh
responsibility
yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
In the
I
afterlife,
was
I've
thinking
washed
about.
my hands.
I was taking a shower the other day, and I was like, just blame Alexandre and say he's dead.
Alexandre told you before he died that they don't care about blame. They care about the tithe. You're going to be in trouble if you don't solve this problem. I'm not telling you this now. I'm saying that that's what Alexandre told you before, so you don't forget.
Rutherford immediately forgets.
Well, I'm just saying, even if I have to pull the use the force, Luke. If I have to pull the force ghost, that's what Alexandre told you. They don't care about excuses. They are going to get you if you don't pay the tithe.
Okay, so we have to figure out how to get a whole bunch of grain and lead ore because
Gold.
Alexandre decided not to, investigate why there was no lead.
Things I can no longer defend myself about. Man, you don't even know how many cogs we're turning.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Alexandre's room.
Okay, so since we haven't discussed, or figured out our plan, we will do a couple short RP things, but then I'd like to figure out what we're gonna do so we can get
Or
the
I propose maybe you just spring
part of
something
the.
on us.
I don't want to do that right now. At the moment,
Maybe later.
for reasons, yeah. But we're getting very close to the tithe, and I certainly want to hear what you guys have to do. But at the moment, yeah, you go into Alexandre's room with all the racist crap, the leaf masks, and like a painting of like a baby that being eaten or something. I forget precisely what I had detailed down, but it was decorated that way. And his small amount of effects that he had are still in the room as well.
Okay, so I'm more interested in like any diaries or ledgers or any note keeping that he had.
Pointedly, did not write a lot of stuff down.
Theta, you were Alexandre. Did he have any of that?
That's what I just said. Sorry, I was on the screen, but you guys can't hear me. There are screens that I can't talk to you people on. That was one of them. I said pointedly, did not write a lot of stuff down. That's also a conversation that we've had before.
Yeah, I just
You've
wanted to see
literally, quite literally, Genevieve has like one of the only things he's ever written down. Already. Just because you can write doesn't mean you always do.
I don't know if he kept like notes and ledgers and stuff like that. So
Right, I know. I'm just saying that if you toss his room, you're not gonna find a lot of written material.
Okay.
There's actually a written diary. It said, "Here is all the things I was thinking until the moment of my death."
Well, I was mostly thinking like accounting.
Look, all you do is you don't keep a paper trail. That's rule number 1 of politics.
That's a good rule for criminals.
Yeah.
Look, how much did you actually know about Alexandre?
Right. I
Okay.
didn't know jack shit about Alexander.
There you go. Probably because
thing is
I didn't freak out and say I can't go outside unless I change my clothes.
I have to be presentable.
I can't be seen by the people that recognize me.
Alexander was a savage. I am sophisticated. Okay.
Says the
Well,
guy who
you may
can't
now
read.
spin that as much as you like.
Yeah,
Help us
I
all your
can't
book
defend
learning out
Alexandre anymore.
shit.
Um,
Okay, so what line of inquiry do we want to pursue next? Because we're kind of spinning our wheels here. We need to figure out. We need to figure out what we're going to do about the tithe. We need to figure out, the truth about Brienne, and it appears increasingly the truth about Matilda as well. We still have to deal with Brutus and the Beastmen, and as far as I'm concerned, Jeb, that son of a bitch, is still a threat to the village.
Bruce and the Beastman is like the best cover band.
I think our answer to the tithe is the Beastmen, because one, we saw that one Beastman really drunk, and I believe there was another part that we did notice as a group, or one of us noticed. I don't remember who exactly, that they had stolen some mead, or some mead was taken by the Beastmen for some goddamn
So
reason.
your
They're interested in
plan
the mead.
is to get
You're
the
absolutely
Beastmen to
right.
pay taxes on drink.
So I think we legit need to figure out why they're stealing the mead.
Well, I also want to underline the following. When they attacked the last time, their purpose was to find your mother. They were trying to get her.
Yeah, I don't
So
know.
they have a purpose there, which means that locating Jen's mother should also be one of the things that we try to accomplish. Because we sort of left it by the wayside, assuming that she's safe, but I don't actually know that for sure.
Yeah, it's because we couldn't find her or anything like that. And the snow's getting worse, so it's gonna be really hard.
Yeah.
I think if there was a way that we could talk to Brutus, it would be so much easier.
We could go back to the mine.
We could,
Sounds real dangerous.
danger, danger, danger everywhere we go.
Well, my lord, Rutherford, I just want to point out to you that a tithe is a simple matter to figure out. It is after all, just mathematics. How much do you owe?
I don't know how much to know.
I don't know.
This is stuff
Well.
Master usually has. That's why we came
Yup.
into the room. We didn't write anything fucking down.
Was it not handed to you on a paper when you received this position? The things expected of you?
No. No, in fact, Rasmussen read it out loud.
Well, Rasmussen, what did it say?
It said that Lord Rutherford was being bequeathed the title and lands around the manor. And when we went to claim it, that's when we met Brienne. But as far as I recall, there was no mention of the actual amount of the tithe, unless I'm mistaken.
it would have mentioned what the due was. That, I mean, it would have mentioned that he had to pay his lord the tithe, but not necessarily what it would be, because that will change from year to year.
Well, then
Fair enough.
perhaps the thing to do would be to send a messenger back to Skarnberg to reconnoiter what the exact number of the tithe would be, to verify before the coming, so that it might be reasoned out. Certainly, if asked why somebody is asking such a thing, just say that they need to know so they do not send too little or too much. It's a very simple matter to know how much you have to pay. Trust me, people want to be paid the money that they're due. This is agreeable, is it not?
Well, and certainly one approach, but whoever ends up going to get that information is going to be, how can I put this?
It's too late.
How is it too late?
There's 1 week to the tithe.
Not
Correct?
even a few days. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're into week we're into the last week before the festival. We're a few days into it. It's like maybe 4 days away at this point.
Well, then might I suggest a word that I am familiar with through my friends back at Burnsburg? Liquidation. Start turning your resources that you can no longer make profitable into money so that you could then send them off to take the place of some of the tithe.
Any suggestions as to what that might be?
Well, you've said you've lost many of people here in town. They must have had belongings. I know he's talking about someone either building something or mowing a lawn, but I prefer to think of it as a giant scary face outside of his window.
He's
That's what I
he's
thought.
like a fucking like a lawn crew guy, and he's just like he's doing his whole lawn right now.
I mean, not many people here own much or have much, I can assume.
Right, belongings inherently have material value, and material value has then economic and trade value. Skarnsburg is a major trade city. All you need to do is get it there, and then find an exchange rate that is profitable for everybody. Really, this
Well,
is
it was
simple
burned
economics.
down. It was burned.
No, I just came from there. I can assure you, Skarnsburg is still quite standing.
No, the people who died, all of their stuff has been burned.
Well, that was foolish. Why did you do that?
The beastmen did it.
Well, certainly not everything that they owned was burned.
Well,
They,
I think the vegan heist manor is like mostly ruined, from what I remember.
what if we give them the cursed manor?
We could give him the
You
man.
do not own that, Crippy. That land belongs to the Bass family.
It's still out there. Never know.
Well, I suppose we could go to the Ziegenheld's estate and see if there's anything there that we can salvage.
Couldn't you
Additionally,
sell?
sorry, go ahead.
Couldn't you sell also the land that near the Bogan Castle? Couldn't you also sell that land?
Well, Bogan Castle, you'll correct me if I'm wrong, is supposed to be the seat of Lord Rutherford as the new lord of the towns. We don't want to give that up because then essentially what we're saying is he's giving up the town.
That could be a way to. I could just relinquish my title.
You're going to relinquish the title days after it was given to you?
Certainly would make things awkward for me.
I mean,
And you want to sell your castle? You can sell your castle to like a rich burger.
Well, you would need to
in
find
2
somebody
days.
that would want to buy it. It is, after all, a ruin, as I recall from passing by. And you would need... Yes, you would also need to find somebody in 2 days who sight unseen wants to buy a deed to a castle they've never heard of.
So we need to have a chest of gold in the middle of the boonies to buy a dilapidated castle full of skeletons.
What you need is a number of things that people do not know that they need, but need to buy them, and need to give up their own needs to buy them with.
I have a repulsive idea, but one that might allow us some wiggle room.
What sort of wiggle room?
If
I'm
we
intrigued.
go to the burial pit and we try to retrieve anything of value that was buried with the loved ones.
That is not a repulsive idea. That is a stupid idea. For one thing, this town does not have a burial. It has a pit. You do not bury in a pit, that's why it is a pit. Additionally, this town is full of homeless people. As I've said, it is a hick town. Do you not think that those homeless people are using that very same idea to get by daily?
Well, I have no idea since I haven't been there yet.
Have you not? It is disgusting and it smells. You can smell it from here. Wow, that guy is going to town out there.
I know, right?
You must have hedges right under your window. What's that? Those hedges aren't at 90 degrees.
Well, then I'll reiterate what I said before. Let's go to the Zegan Help pasture and see if there's anything left that we can acquire and offer up as at least part of the tithe.
I mean, would that be acceptable? I don't know.
I don't really
I
know who
suppose it
you're
depends
asking.
on what we find.
There's only one person who could tell you if that was acceptable, and he will
It
probably
is.
say no.
It is absolutely acceptable.
Sorry, I was not talking about you, my lord. I was talking about the one that you called my lord. Let's not go out because God is dead.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask because basically what I'm getting from this is we're gonna try and sell off the vegan health stuff.
Despite the fact they're still a living family.
Yeah, I mean, technically you have the right to do it, I suppose. Although none of you. Okay, so this is something I'm struggling with. None of you really know laws. I don't
Yeah,
think.
that's my problem too. Is like I as a kid don't know.
So if you would like to make education checks, because this is something I would give to Alexandre for free because obviously this was his job. But that's not really necessarily the case with any of you. So if you're educated and would like to make a check, yeah, Ramon, you are uncertain.
Well, I'm also uneducated.
Yeah.
Flip to fail?
Uh,
No worries, I start in failure.
so I think it just leaves Rasmussen as the only one with education.
Yeah.
And I apparently familiarized myself with the laws of the town before getting.
Yeah, I think it's more like laws of the realm. So you have to meet a certain number of goods that basically due to recent reforms, the goods themselves aren't as important as the monetary value of said goods. So the Lord would set up an exchange if you were able to deliver him goods, and you technically have the right to seize any property that the town produces. Essentially, all the people who aren't Genevieve's family, Lucius, who owns the inn, and Anton. Well, I guess he's dead, so now you own the mill as well. All those people and all their properties, all their belongings belong to you. So legally, you can do that.
No, I would very strongly urge Lord Rutherford not to touch any of the assets belonging to Genevieve's family. I also strongly suggest we don't touch any of the assets that belong to the
Hotfelds.
I want to.
yeah, exactly, the Hutfelds. But I do suggest that we seize any and all property that belong to the Ziegenhelts, because they are the primary cause of the turmoil in the town, not to mention that they collectively had been harboring a man witch.
I want to remind that the first thing he said was, "You can't touch Genevieve's family stuff." And Nero's first suggestion is, highly suggest, you don't touch Genevieve's family stuff. It's like you don't. You just said you could. What?
Yeah, I think he was interpreting what his character did.
Okay. Real quick question. Only because I'm trying to help, but I'm trying to not metagame. Genevieve. Was Genevieve in the room the last time Alexandre met with Elja? 'Cause I think she was, but I can't remember.
No.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't there when you were talking to her.
Yeah, and I know what line you're coming down, and that will certainly be popping up. But nobody really knows about Lord Rutherford thing or Alexandre's disappearance.
Right? No, but yeah, but that's not. I mean, you understand where I'm going with it, but
yeah,
I mean that's not what I was getting at. I just meant to see if she was in the room, she would know what discussion was being had, and then she could bring it up herself.
Yeah, no, unfortunately not.
There's no way she would spend any money to save me.
Yeah,
right.
I thought of that too, but I was like, I don't think she knows about that. And two, I don't know if she would give up that money.
Because you better believe if Alexandre was going to be on the line, he was going to have answers. The moment Lord Rutherford came into position, my neck is off the hook.
I need you to be my ally. Okay.
I was wondering if there's a way that we could sell the rest of Elja's moonshine in order to help.
Here, I was hoping you were to say, I wonder if there's a way we could resurrect Alexandre, but that's not what you said.
So what I was actually about to get at is, it seems like right now, basically our answer for the tithe is we still have no answer. At which point I suggest us sort of thinking about what others actions we're going to take. And while we think about this, I would like to have a scene that's later that night, specifically with Ramon, who I'm assuming has now realized his mix-up, or have you, and goes to meet somebody.
I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, that's not. I know I say that in a playful way. I don't know what you're talking about. My mix-up is. You want to send it to me in a text?
No, it was from earlier. You thought Brienne was Matilda, but I'm pretty
sure.
Oh, that.
Okay, sorry.
Speaking.
I have.
Yeah, I feel like
I was dealing with a lot of shit earlier, and you added a few things to my thing, and I was like, did I make a mix-up? I know I went with a storyline that I was only talking about sort of before, but...
Yeah, I know. It is a lot, and especially, I, of course, did that pretty much last minute because I fell asleep on my couch. But, yeah, I feel like that might be somewhat important to your character's line of thinking or thought.
Well, no, I said I had a hut to go to, so clearly...
Yeah.
I was already thinking about that, and despite thinking who this woman is, when I get to that hut, obviously I'm going to realize then, if not now.
Yeah, and I think your character has realized, by the way, they came out and said Brienne, and Matilda. I think you were able to figure that out pretty quickly. It didn't end up coming into play. Yeah, I'd like to focus on that for a minute. While everyone else, I want you primarily to kind of think about what your next action is. Yeah, what you've done, what your next action is, so we can get things forward, and also remind that Brienne is fully expecting her ball. That is also on me. So let's pick up as you approach Matilda's hut. and as you get close, you notice the shear off of the snow and everything. Um, Stopping before realizing it might be detrimental to your health to continue on. What do you do?
I stop before I realize it would be. Can you hear me?
What was that?
So I was asking if you could hear me, actually, which is ironic.
Oh, yes. Um, yeah, you don't pass the barrier, right? Essentially, I'm giving you that.
I can sense the barrier.
Well, you can certainly see it. It's very obvious, and their
Okay.
house is written up in runes and charms. So, um,
Then I guess I'm going to try and dispel it.